Hello, my beautiful friend. I'm Serenity Ravenwolf,
And I'm Robert Hubbs.
and together we are Love Heals Humanity.
And today we are talking about scarcity. And if you've seen the title of the show, you know that scarcity is truly about uncreating an abundant reality and an abundant future for you. And I think it's really important to talk about this right now with so much going on in the world. I mean, I know lots has been going on for a lot of years, but the pandemic was kind of a pullback from everything that was going on out in the world. And then, post pandemic, it's been about go, go, go. It's been, about recovering and getting back to and, reclaiming all the things we lost. And now we're seeing this global, you know, inflation and shrinking and pulling back. And everyone's talking about, recession and, down. And I think it's a really great time to be talking about what scarcity mindset and scarcity in general does to us.
Yeah, I got nothing. No, just joking.
That's funny.
Scarcity, right? I got nothing. Um,
When it comes to scarcity, I've got nothing. Well, okay, but let's start with that. So, what does it really mean to have nothing? I mean, how could I possibly have nothing? I mean, we talked last week about my actually it was 2 weeks ago about dispossessing of everything and about downsizing. I didn't realize how much stuff I had, and I'm not like that much stuff.
and that said, now the opposite of scarcity is abundance, and we can
See?
have a be way more abundant than we ever thought we were. AKA, you were mentioning I had so much stuff. It might be an abundance of what you don't want or don't desire or could do without, but life is actually a co creative experience with the whole, as in the whole of everything, the all there is, not just us, our lives, our work life, our personal life, our financial life. It's the whole, everything. Like a forest is abundant with trees. There's no
Hmm.
scarcity of trees in an actual forest, unless someone's come through and done something. But scarcity began within the seed of separation, and I think this is what creates a lot of the scarcity that we have. We feel separate from the whole. So if the whole is truly abundant, and if we're connected to the whole,
Hmm.
or feel a part of in an expansive way, then how can we feel lack of? And actually, there's something that I want to mention here. Scarcity, one of the biggest things, the word want, WANT, is a word of scarcity. If you get an old dictionary pre 1945 or something, when they sort of changed some of the meanings in it after the war, the word, there's about 28 different meanings for the word want, and only one of them means to be abundance, to have, to attract to you. So every other word means a lack of. So most people are desiring things, wanting things, and wanting things. When you want something, you're wanting from the scarcity side of it, as in from the lack of having it.
Right.
So we all know the main steps for the law of attraction. Just to touch on it briefly, is what we give our attention, energy, and focus to, we get more of. So if we're wanting, 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 we're saying to the universe, who only ever knows how to say yes, I don't have this, and the universe just keeps saying yes, you don't have that, you're correct. So I kept trying to change using the word, like to take the word want out of my vocabulary, and I couldn't. I really, really struggled. And then one day I had this like light bulb moment, ding, 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 or an aha moment. And I realized that the word want in our society has become more of a, more behavioral. So from my NLP trainings, I understand to swap out a behavior, you need to find an equal something that makes sense that you can swap it out for, because a behavior you can't. That's why I couldn't drop the word out of my vocabulary. So what actually means to have and has a different vibration to it. And I stumbled across the word desire. I want an apple tree. I desire an apple tree. There's a totally different vibration, and the word desire has more of an uplifting, childlike. I want a pool. They'll say want, but they say it with the vibration of I desire. Over time, that deadens, and we're doing it from the place of lack. So when I changed out the word I desire for this call to go wonderful. The whole voice and tone of voice and the resonance in your voice changes, and the universe says she desires that. Yes, on its way. Just had to touch on that because that's one of my favorite pet peeves, and realizing it was behavioral, and it was a huge shift in my life.
And before we move off that, how do you respond to people when they say, but we're just moving the target around. We redefine what the word want means, or we say we don't want to use it, or fine, let's not use want, now we use desire, and then desire is going to become the same word. It's just going to, we're replacing one with another. How do you respond to that?
If it works for you, have at it. Though I actually doubt it, and I believe otherwise. God bless your cotton socks. Have at it. Didn't work for me, didn't work for anyone that I've mentioned this to, and when they changed the word want to desire, things started to shift in their life. More abundance of what they did consciously desire started entering into their lives. I use the word want when I actually desire the result of the word to lack me to want. For example, I want to weigh 500 kilograms. My mind knows what the want means. It means to lack, and the universe says, yes, I'll make you not 500 kilograms. Does that make sense? It might be a silly example, but
by your earlier assertion, yes, it makes sense. I would never choose to use it like that. That's me, which I think brings up another really good point. Is one of the things that I've always felt about scarcity and abundance, and about that interplay between the two of them, is to be really careful about who I'm around, because just like you're talking about changing how we embody our thoughts and our experiences in our words, I'm really careful about who I surround myself with.
Can we put a pause on that? Because I have, after we've chatted for a little bit, a list of 5 things of how you can go from scarcity to abundance, and I'm pretty certain that's actually one of them.
It has definitely been something that's made a impact on my life. I mean, I heard a fellow by the name of Jim Rohn talk about it years and years and years ago. I can't remember when he started saying it, probably long before I heard him say it, but he talked about, you are a reflection of the people you associate with. And he said specifically, you are, the average of the 5 people you spend the most time around. Sure.
But that goes
however we want to quantify it.
That goes many ways too, Robert. You are the sum total of what you're giving the most of your attention, energy, and focus to. That includes people, places, things, what you're reading, what you're doing, where you're hanging, who you're hanging with, what you're watching. Are you working out or not working out? Are you eating healthy? Are you not eating healthy? Like, that is a broader topic in there. An alignment with the whole opens abundance as an entire universal force of love supports our desires. So just thought that was rather a great point, being connected to the whole. And everybody, before we move on any further, please drop in, say hi. Joshua's just given us the hands up. Thanks, Joshua. Woot woot. And I'd like to encourage anybody, if you have any questions on the topic, please, nothing feeds our soul more than to be able to be here and be of service to you, for you, with you, and to answer your questions. And if you don't have any questions, just say hi and let us know where you are. That way we know you're there. Hello, I love you. Oh, Jackie, I love you too. Jackie says I love you. Aww. Thanks, Jackie. Oh,
And it's okay to lurk too, if you just want to
yeah,
lurk
if you
in the
just want to
background.
lurk, you can do that too. I still love you, regardless of whether you're a lurker or a questioner or just letting us know where you are.
And if you're
Jo-
watching replays or the recordings, it's okay to, throw up comments as well because
yeah,
we'll
because
read
I
comments.
for some weeks I swing back just to check if there's any comments, and that's the Joshua saying woot woot. And what do we got? We got Jackie. Jackie just got on. Yay, Jackie! And Joshua is in Edmonds, WA. Where's WA?
Be Washington.
Oh, there you go. See, I don't know. It's tell from the Aussie, can't you? I'd also like to encourage everybody. We share this over on our YouTube channel, the Love Heals Humanity YouTube channel, as well after the show. And I'd love to request that if you're enjoying these shows even remotely, please press the subscribe button and press on the bell so that you can be notified whenever we're putting up new stuff. And on the Facebook page, you can see the events that are created for this, so you can at least know that each week or when's the next one. If you go to the events on the Positive Happy Life Facebook page, you'll definitely see them there, because I don't know how Facebook gets you to sign up for
And
notifications.
and no matter how many times you click like or subscribe, it's not like you're going to run out because it's an abundant world, even on Facebook and YouTube.
Yes, absolutely. I'd like to just, many
So
of, I
cheesy.
know, I'd like to go before we go any further in. I'd like to, I've just written the points down so as like the talking points. The 5 ways to go from a scarcity to an abundance mindset, as I turn my phone off because I love you. Number 1 is focus on what you have. And a
Mm,
moment ago we were touching upon, everyone, that we are abundant in so many ways. Focus on what you do have. Like, instead of and then that's along the lines of stop comparing ourselves to others. For example, if you're going for a job interview, they're going to hire somebody else, or someone with more experience is going to get hired. Well, that's focusing on what you don't have and you can't meet and you can't be a part of. In that instance, and using that as an example, you could focus on, well, I've got 10 years worth of experience. I might not have a university degree, but I have 10 years of experience, and someone straight out of university doesn't have that experience. And sometimes people actually hire on experience. I have a team of a recruitment agency working for me to help me find this job. Absolutely, I'm going to get one. I have a roof over my head. This touches upon gratitude as well, although that is kind of one of the points a
mhm.
bit further down. Do you have anything to add to this particular point, Robert? Focus on what you have.
Well, I mean, for me, it and gratitude are hand in hand because
Yeah.
it's so easy to lose touch with what we have and to not feel grateful for it. It's something that I've said many times when I talk about gratitude is especially in, you know, the world we live in today with so many material possessions. Again, going back to 2 shows ago, talk about dispossession, getting rid of things, minimalism, and I still come away with a lot of things.
Mm.
And creature comforts are very easy to be grateful for, but also, you talking about jobs, the fact that I have a skill set that is valuable. I mean, I'm super grateful for that. I'm grateful for the experiences to get there. There's so much in what I have, what I've received in life, what I've, you know, earned for myself. And I don't just mean in terms of money, but in respect and connections and friendships.
Mm-hmm.
It's so
Even I
easy
have a
to
kind
forget
heart. I'm
those.
a nice person. I'm a open-hearted giver. I mean,
Mm,
these are the things that you already have and are abundant, and may never actually even noticed that
mm,
these were a part of the actual abundance that you already have.
yeah,
And just as,
yeah.
because the show is rather short, so I'll just skip to the next point. If anyone has any questions, please pop them in the comments, because whether it's the replay or now, because we'd love to answer them. Point 2 Surround yourself with people that have an abundance mindset. Now, you were mentioning this just before,
Yeah.
Robert. Would you like to continue on that?
Well, and I wasn't just thinking about abundance. I think about it from the framework of I want to surround myself with people that I want to be around, that are a reflection of who I am and who I want to be. I don't want to be around people who they've stopped changing. They're set, they're done.
Yeah.
Even someone who's better, whatever that means in this context, than I am, but they're never going to get any better than they are.
The
Not that
wannabes, they just talk about wannabeing it and they never take any action, or the tire kickers and the doubters and
I would never be around those people, period.
no.
But just they're not my people. But I'm even thinking of someone who's, maybe even further along the path than I am, but they've stopped
Yes.
looking for a better life. And I don't mean, that crazy, oh, I need more money. No, I mean someone who realizes that there's more. Again, abundance. There's so much more.
Yeah.
We can be enough and desire to be greater.
But in a
Those two
way
are
that
not in
is
conflict.
in a way though that is an abundance mindset.
Hmm.
Anyone that
Yeah.
I just described a moment ago, they obviously don't have a very broad abundance mindset or a very, high vibration and open-hearted view of the world. Where, like, even that person that is further along than you are, but has stopped, no longer has an abundance mindset. Anyone
Yeah.
who's kicking tires and stuff, they're looking at scarcity and doubt and lack rather than what I can do, rather than possibility.
Hmm.
And possibilities are infinite. And is it Napoleon Hill says, if you can conceive and perceive it and it's humanly possible, you can absolutely, positively, without a shadow of a doubt, have it. So, yeah, and we touched on this before. So let's move on to the third step. And again, if anyone has any questions, I'd love you to pop them in the comments below, because I love you and I love to answer your questions, and I always love an excuse to say I love you. Point 3 is create win-win situations. Now, this is really, really important, that when you're looking for win-win, and even if you can't create a win-win, wasn't me, I turned mine off, you all saw it.
It's me.
Win-win situations are, even if you can't, sometimes you can't create a win-win situation, and then because those people that you're mentioning a moment ago, Robert, are set in their ways and they don't want to move or change or do anything differently. But you can look to create as win-win a situation as you can, or you can at least create a win-win to the degree, the level, to the point where they can at least feel like they were seen, heard, acknowledged, accepted, and it's all okay. And then you just go away, and that's a win-win for you, as long as you're not there at loggerheads. Do you have anything else to add to that? Create win-win situations, Robert.
I think that the thing for me around win-win is it's not that things need to be 100% equitable, or that
Yeah.
everybody has to have the same coming out of a situation. It's all about what you, and I know this is another word that can spawn some trouble, but need. So you can do a business deal, or have a personal arrangement with someone where what comes out of it isn't exactly the same, because someone doesn't desire the same thing out of it. And they can be incredibly beneficial, even though they're not equivalent. They're not exactly the same. It's not a 50-50 deal or something, because you can understand what someone's desires and what their situation is, and you do something to fit that situation. It doesn't have to be big fit to a situation, but sometimes those subtle little touches mean so much more.
Oh,
Creating
there's so many
creating a
subtle
win-win.
things that we're just consciously missing 24/7. And back to that point, it's like what I learned in my RP trainings is that we have something ridiculous like 2 billion bits of information hitting us every second of every day. And we can only take in about 7 plus or minus 2 of those, which is about 152 bits. This is when someone changes the label of your favorite source in the supermarket, and you're looking in the supermarket, and or in the fridge, and you just can't find it because the label's different or it's put somewhere different. It's because there's so much information hitting us. We sort. So what we're sorting, on whatever one of these points it goes, what we're sorting with though is, I call it the inner Google. So we have this inner Google or inner search engine. It's what keywords are we putting in our inner Google search engine. And that could be, if you're putting in scarcity into a search engine, what pops up? Everything about abundance? Absolutely freaking not. If you type in abundance, so what is in here? What are you giving your attention, energy, and focus to, which is your inner search engine? I'm trying not to say the G word. Moving on to point 4, to keep as best we can within the show time frame, is incorporate gratitude into your daily life. Now, we've all heard this a million times. However this works for you, what you're giving your attention, energy, and focus to, are you seeing all of these other points incorporates that? The point just above that we were speaking to incorporates this. You can write gratitude journals. Highly recommend those if you're a writer. I just like to... My entire philosophy is life is I love, bless, and celebrate the heck out of everything. So when I see a bird flying by, it was obviously the divine showing up in some form to give me the opportunity to be love. So I tell the bird that I love it, and I send it a blessing, you know?
That's cheatingly easy, because anything and everything is all from the universe. So everything is about a celebration of it. So it's so easy to celebrate that.
Yeah, and even someone standing in line at the bank spewing about their bad day, I'll just stand in the presence of love and grateful that the universe has sent someone for me to be of service in a loving way too with. And yes, I've given that example in the past. So does anyone have anything else any questions, any experiences that you'd like to share? Said in the Serenity way. And we can read those in the comments. Just to touch on the final point here, 5, train your mind to recognize the possibilities. We sort of touched on this a moment ago. For example, the brain can only absorb so much, and we're talking about that plus or minus. I spoke about it a tad early, as you do. Can only absorb so much. So if your belief is, I can't do it, or it's impossible, in a way, you're absolutely correct, you know?
Yeah.
And that goes back to what are we giving our attention, energy, and focus to as well. And we can start training our mind to loosen its focus and create an expanded awareness. That's that, you know, when your energies are expanded out into the universes and beyond. And ask yourself things like, if I had all the time and money in the world, and I knew I couldn't fail, what would I be doing? Now I pose that question to everyone. And I repeat it again because it's super duper important, and I wrote it down so I'd get it right. If I had all the time in the world and money, and I knew I couldn't fail, what would I be doing? Now that question alone has the ability to expand you out into the universes and beyond, back out into the infinite possibilities. Questions like this will help us open our minds up to what is possible. And having an open mind to what is possible is really, really super duper important. Yeah. We've coming to our time, so I've got lots of points because this is one of my favorite topics, so I'll have to save the other points for another show. Here we go. Jackie's got a question. Let me bring this across. Jackie says, I feel a failure. My kids are 16 and 20, trying to figure out why I'm here. What am I supposed to do? That's a great question, Jackie. And many of us, especially women who've been raising kids and now they're reaching that. I always go to whatever that question is, and there's a million versions of that sort of question is, what feeds your soul? What brings you excitement, what brings you joy, is an indicator along the path to, I don't know, planetary ascension, whatever, peace on earth, whatever you want to call that. Keep following the path, the energy, the breadcrumbs of that which brings you joy. What do you enjoy doing? It might be cooking, it might be knitting, crocheting. It could be, and then you keep following that and or doing that until it doesn't bring you joy anymore. And then you just wait a moment and then feel, and if you're looking for and have the intention in your inner search engine for where's the next breadcrumb, then the next one, something that brings you joy. And it's just this series of that. And usually what we're meant to do and what we're here for, I mean, you can just be here to be a holder and a vibrator of, like a cell phone tower, like a radiator of the unconditional love of the all there is. And I must add that is not an unimportant thing to do, by the way. That is super duper important, because the more people like that we have, and then just do that which brings you joy. Meaning, if it's crocheting, do that and radiate love to the world and bless the world while you're sitting there and crocheting and watching the TV.
And on a really practical note, if you have two teenagers, it's like there's no such thing as a failure. The lives of two other human beings have been entrusted to you from birth, and they're still with us, and they're not something. I mean, I'm not even going to go into the horrible, awful things that can happen, because this world has its dark side, or the meaninglessness that can happen from, even things not awful, but they're alive, they're healthy, they have a future. Holy success story. Like again, this is that, look at what you have. Oh my God, do you know how many people have not done that successfully? Oh, sure, but millions and millions of people have that. Yeah, you're creating the foundations of the future. Every child is a foundation of the future. Every person that gets through childhood brings something to it. Like that by itself is proof that there isn't failure. It's proof.
Yeah,
and it's never going to be perfect.
And I've got kids.
Perfect is failure.
Absolutely. I've got 3 girls, 29, 24, and 19. And what I've found that as they get reaching older, the more I've found those things that excite me and bring me joy, things to keep me amused, I don't miss them as they're moving out. And I celebrate them moving out. Like, I believe even when the last one moves, I believe there's going to be zero empty nest syndrome here, because I've been on the journey of learning who I am, what I like, what brings me joy.
Yep.
And in that, I'm here on this call during that process to know that my purpose is to just be love and to share it. And then I started asking that question of how to do that. And hey, Robert, my beautiful soulmate brother from the other side of the planet, has shown up in my life, and here we are with you. So I hope that answers your question, Jackie. Maybe you can confirm that to let me know that I touched on it. So what I'd like to do is to just mention that Robert and I are putting together a Soulmate Success Secrets 6-week online course. Oh, I do that much better. Practice. And we've put together because the content isn't fully ready yet, we've put together a VIP alert list that we'd love you to put your names down on. Anyone on the VIP alert list will definitely receive a deep dive discount. And I shared one of the heartfelt reveries, guided meditations that I created and completed the other day with a handful of friends, and they all absolutely loved it. Just thought I'd share that. That feeds my soul. And just to let you know, other people are enjoying the content that is slowly rolling out. Mm-hmm. That said, I'd like to move into the affirmations. And I love this part because it completely and utterly allows me to just tell you over and over again, I love you. Nothing brings my heart more joy. Okay. I'd like everyone, Jackie said that did answer her question. Thanks, Jackie. I'd like to ask everybody to expand your energies out into the universes and beyond. And in your mind's eye, a feather of any shape, color, or size will present itself to you. And as feathers do, it will gently drop down, 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 landing gently in the sacred space of your heart. And from here, in the safety of the sacred space of your heart, and with the love of myself and the all there is enveloping you, I am aligned with flowing abundance as the universal force of love supports my desires. I patiently release unsupportive perspectives and receive, receive, receive. I am opening my creative ability and alignment with the abundance of the universe. I receive and create abundance. I find supportive friends and activities that I enjoy. I am patient and diligent in improving my perspective. I'll say that one again. I am patient and diligent in improving my perspective. I use gratitude to transform my understanding of abundance. I support others who desire improvement, so I release competition. I use nature, music, animals, or creativity to focus on feeling positive. I vibrate with the frequency of prosperity. My life is the embodiment of abundance. I welcome prosperity into my life. Take a deep breath in and out, breathing in the resonance that is encoded within those affirmations for you to be and have and live an abundant life. And we're at the just final part where I'll just create an energy ball. And I've learnt to create a juicy one the night before. I'm just adding to it. Let me grab the energy ball I created just a little earlier. Just saying. That way it's just juicier. And the universe has time to fill it out. Actually, it feels completely ready to go. How abundantly amazing is the universe? Are you all ready to receive the healing, everything we've spoken about today, the love of the all there is, into your beautiful, magnificent, radiant, open heart on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. I love you, beautiful. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. I feel a bit yummy.
I want to thank everyone for joining us today. We've gone a little longer than we usually do because we're talking about abundance, so you know that's gonna happen.
Yeah, exactly.
And
what's the topic next week, Robert? Do you have it written there?
Next week we're talking about conquering chaos with the power of peace. And I know that's going to be equally exciting because everyone's got a lot of chaos going on. So that's a biggie.
And I would like to invite you all to join us next week. If you're watching this on the YouTube channel, definitely subscribe and press the bell button so that you can receive notifications of all our newly released shows. And on Facebook, look for the event tab and you can see each event as they're all coming out so you know when they are. And until next week, my beautiful friend, I love you and stay your magnificent, radiant, abundant selves. Bye.